Have mercy on we, Biafra. Lord, give us a freedom.
My wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom, I welcome you to Skolante TV, where we bring to you news that concerns the restoration of Biafra and freedom all over the world. Obasanjo went down to Southeast and met with Ohaneze Igbo, and they discussed some things that we do not know, but they say they discuss about the release of Mazi and Kanu. All will be coming to you in this video. But before I dive into it, let me quickly welcome back to my channel those of you that have been following my videos. And if you are new, I urge you to do well to subscribe to the channel, press the like button, click that bell icon so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be well notified. And also, you can share it as well.
The southeast region of Nigeria is still in search of lasting peace, and the release of their son may be key to achieving that. As such, talks about the release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Insecurity in the region and other issues topped the agenda of the meeting between former President Obasanjo and some leaders of Ohaneze worldwide. The Secretary General of the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Oke Emuche, says the closed-door meeting with the president of the group, Emmanuel Uwayawu, in his Owerri, Imo State home was very symbolic and crucial. He added that the deliberations were fruitful. Mikhail, it's a new year, and topping the list of concerned issues for the leadership of the Indigenous is the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. This campaign has been on for about 2 years. Is it high time?
I think the most important thing is securing the Southeast. The level of insecurity in the Southeast is troubling. There are many people who ordinarily have loved to go home, but they didn't go home, told their parents to come down to Lagos, and they gave them whatever they felt like giving them. That insecurity is the biggest problem. And many people tie the insecurity to the continued incarceration of Mazi and Kanu. Remember, the incarceration of Mazi and Kanu was what
Mikhail, are you there? All right, we may have to come back to Mikhail then. Asukwa, let me have your take on this. Like I said, is it high time?
For me, I think let me take from where BQ, stopped. We need a permanent solution to the insecurity in the Southeast. And one of the solutions, maybe, to me, can be a political solution. Because if we are to continue with the way it is now, we might end up having this insecurity, in the Southeast. Yes, the law has to take its course, okay? But I feel that since he is the arrowhead of what people are clamoring for, we can, bring him on the table and tell him that this is what we need. We need that particular region to be at peace, and then get things from him. And when I'm saying get things from him, get him to agree that peace will return to the Southeast. Because we cannot, Southeast used to be a very beautiful place. I served in the Southeast, and for once, I never had this fear that at some point, I would always have this fear of, traveling to the Southeast, or having, for people to say, oh, I can't go to some parts of the Southeast. Even there were some parts that recently, the places I used to go on a regular basis, I started hearing that those places you can't even go there anymore in the Southeast. And I was like, what? So it means back then, you know, if it was to be now, I'm not sure I can. You know, so if the president or the former president is trying to make that move with Ohaneze, it has to be in agreement with, you know, with the present administration. We should be able to find a political solution, you know, for us to bring peace in the Southeast.
Okay, are you back with us? All right. So, Emeka, the federal government has always argued that once a case touched on national security, the rights of the individual affected takes secondary place.
Well, that is just semantics. That's academic. You see, there are certain issues that border more on the political than on the judicial. Like Nnamdi Kanu's case, it's something that I have said from time that the best approach is a political solution. Because if you want to go through the process of his trial, well, I don't know how long it will take and where it will end. But the point is that I commend ex-President Obasanjo for this initiative. And I think we should also be on our guard because there are people, there are fifth columnists, you know, who usually want to ensure that certain conflicts just remain and government continues to spend money. I remind you of what Obasanjo said in 2022, how he met with Boko Haram leaders in 2011 in Maiduguri. And they told him that their prime motivation for starting Boko Haram was because they had no jobs, apart from support for Sharia, they had no jobs, and security agencies were pursuing them all over the place. Do you know what happened? The unfortunate thing that happened. Obasanjo said that just after he left Maiduguri, some people went and shot the person who facilitated the meeting, Babakura Fugu, who was an in-law to the founder of Boko Haram. They shot him dead. And he said at that time they didn't have external connection. Their feet had not been firmly planted on the ground. But look at today. From Boko Haram, we now have ISWAP. So I think the earlier, the better. Let's try and put things in proper perspective for the good of our nation. If there are political solutions to certain things, let's sort them out quickly so that we can move forward.
So I asked that question because the federal government continues to say there is intelligence reports that releasing Kanu from detention would worsen insecurity in the Southeast region.
Who gave them the intelligence report? I'm an Igbo man, I'm from the Southeast. Who gave them the intelligence report? Do you know that this last December, the number of people, in fact, before this last Christmas, a top security officer had told me that they got intelligence report that the number of people that will be coming back, some people had not come back home for 10 years, that they will come back. I can show you videos, events that held, events, meetings, some people who had not come home for more than 10 years. Things were holding. Yes, there was this unfortunate incident at Oga Junction, you know, where some hoodlums attacked, you know, the convoy of a politician. But the security agencies responded quickly and killed 2 of them. So releasing Nnamdi Kanu will douse the tension in the Southeast and help to resolve a lot of things. Anybody giving them an intelligence report should come out and tell us the source and the scope. His release will solve issues in the Southeast.
Mikhail, you're back with us. And like I've told the gentleman in the studio, federal government says once a case touched on national security, the rights of the individual affected takes secondary place.
And that's true. That's true. But there is no matter that is beyond a peaceful resolution. You've seen countries that were at war for up to 60 years. We've seen groups within a country at war for up to 60 years come to the round table. So whatever we need to do that will bring peace to the Southeast and stop the needless slaughter going on in the Southeast, I think this year that has to be considered. I could recall that during his campaigns, Mr. President said he would be willing to negotiate with any group in the interest of peace in the Southeast. As a person, I will encourage him to do that. I've been doing this for up to 2 years, demanded for Kanu's release in exchange for him giving up his armed struggle, his campaign of violence against the Nigerian state. And I still stand on that, even though I read comments from some of my Southern brothers describing me as a tribalist. A man with a traditional title from Source, the Southeast, Okulora, Aguleri, cannot be a tribalist. I'm consistent in asking for a negotiated settlement of this problem. I believe it's possible. I will be happy to see that happen. So it's good about.
BK, are you there?
I don't know what they talked about. Maybe very soon they'll come out and tell us. But we want to see peace happen in the Southeast. Kanu's release is related to that.
Azoko, your final take on this?
Just like we've all, it's like we've all agreed that, his release, will bring peace, in the Southeast. I think the federal government, they are listening to us. It's something that they can also put in the front burner and begin to think about it. I know the deputy speaker of the House of Rep recently had
Benjamin Kanu.
Yes. Peace in the Southeast project, So, and I think one of the issues, that we had discussed was the release of Nnamdi Kanu and how to see how peace can return in the Southeast. Because if there is no peace in a region, there can never be development. I know that most of my friends actually traveled this year to the Southeast, and I asked them, how was it? They said everywhere was peaceful.
Very peaceful.
They said everywhere was peaceful. They even did housewarming, and so many people came from everywhere.
They told it.
So it means that peace can actually return to the Southeast.
Yes.
If concerted efforts, even put in place. So it's something that the government can look at, to release him and then let him put pen to paper and say, I say I will not do this, I will do this. Don't forget, there are so many light hands there in the Southeast, in the hands of so many young people who are supposed to, be in the farming or going to their shop to go and open, So
how are we sure he wouldn't go back on his word?
So that is where we are going to hold their leaders into account. So we are not just going to release him without, allow him to come and write something that this is my bond. And my word should be my bond. We'll make him sign those things. Let Nigerians know that, okay, if you are going to, we are talking about political solution now, okay. So we'll make sure that he does not go back, to his old ways. And by the time we do that, I believe that we'll be able to get a permanent solution to it. Because keeping him there is fueling more anger, okay. So, but we need the Southeast to return to how it was before. It's a beautiful place that people can go, do their businesses and come back. So if Nnamdi Kanu is out there, then we'll now begin to look at who are the people that are fueling the insecurity there. And then the government can now start dealing with it. And I believe that since everybody is now saying release him, if they release him, he can even be the one to champion the peace, the real peace that we are even looking for.
All right, so Emeka, let me come to you quickly as we wrap up. Another angle or another issue that formed part of that meeting was the President General of the indigenous persistently calling for an end to the alleged marginalization of the region.
Yes, of course. Yeah, somebody will say that every region in Nigeria is marginalized. Yes. The point is that if I don't, like Professor Chino Achebe said, that until the lion begins to tell his own stories, the narrative will glorify the hunter. So the Southeast has to tell his own stories that, yes, we are marginalized and we need more federal presence, which is true. So definitely it should be considered, because two key problems in the Southeast. One, unemployment. Unemployment is high. Jobs are needed. A lot of youths are unemployed. They need jobs. Then another thing, people at a point began to, resort to traditional religion with promises that, they will get wealthy, they would, they could do anything and no bullets will touch them, penetrate their bodies and all of that. And then again, the governors of the Southeast need to also invest in technology. They need to assist the security agencies with technology, tracking devices, and devices that will help them to do their jobs much better. You see, the security agencies in the Southeast they are really trying. They are really trying. It's a dangerous situation because you don't even know sometimes who you are up against. But I give them kudos. But what I do hope is that the Nnamdi Kanu matter will be quickly resolved, one, and then some of these checkpoints in the South, especially the military checkpoints, where people are being dehumanized. You have to ask people to alight from their vehicles, walk some distance
raise their hands
before raise their hands. Come on, you cannot do that. You are dehumanizing the people. You expect these same people to cooperate with you in dealing with criminal elements. You shouldn't now treat them as if they don't have rights. These are individuals. These are human beings. Yes, I know the security agencies will tell you they've been attacked at their checkpoints, but I want to tell you that there are other ways by which they can avoid doing this kind of thing. Allow people to pass. Use technology a lot, and then let's get more jobs for the unemployed youths. Talk to people, and then let Nigeria also ensure justice and equity for every Nigerian. A lot of this will disappear.
So it's very clear that these guys are talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to sign a paper that he wouldn't fight for Biafra again. They are not calling it fighting for freedom. These guys are just talking about criminality, as if that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was doing any criminal whatever. Something that is enshrined in international law, even na Nigerian law, in every kind of law, that you have a freedom of self-determination, freedom of speech. So I don't know why they are now changing the narrative to criminality. The same thing, Barrister Carol White was saying and still saying, okay, before he even kidnapped Aonyendu. You see? So to them, they want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, let them release him, but he has to. That Yoruba man was emphasizing on him signing something to make sure that the Ohaneze, Igbo, that they will make him to sign something so that he will not go back to what? Mention the name of what you don't want him to go back. They can't. These guys, But the good thing that all these things confirm, it actually confirms to us that Mazi never wrote any of those letters, but it's a Ejiofor and Ejimako brought. So it's very obvious that Mazi never yielded to all their nonsense, blackmailing, all their lies, because they have been lying to him, deceiving him, but he never capitulated. He never submitted to all those their lies. So that's why I told somebody that I can actually vouch for Mazi that he will never submit. Mazi will rather die than abandoning Biafra. It's obvious. So my people, this is where we will end. If you have not liked my video, do well to give me like button. Okay, subscribe, turn that bell icon so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be well notified and you can share it for others to see as well. Other than that, peace out.